What's your name?
My name is Sven Olafsson.
And can you tell me how old you are?
57 years old.
And where are you from?
Originally from Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
What's Minnesota like? I've never been there.
Well, it's cold. It's out there in the Midwest. Anything you imagine the Midwest being like. I'm from a very large family. We originally come from the Scandinavian area.
So that's your background?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, actually also because of my first name being Sven, once I moved into my professional career, I went with my middle name, Stefan or Steven, so people mostly call me Steve, so you could call me Steve.
Steve, okay. And what do you do for a career? What's your job?
Well, I'm in the computer business. Now I'm a computer security expert, but throughout my whole career I've done some sort of a computer job. Originally, computer programming.
And did you go to college for that?
Yes, I went to the University of Minnesota. I got a degree in computer science in that particular university. And interestingly, I minored in theater arts.
Theater arts?
That was
At
always a
college?
passion of mine, but I never thought I could actually do that for a career.
At the college?
Sure, I performed in some productions there at the University of Minnesota.
Do you have a favorite play?
Well, Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman, great character.
I've read that book,
yes,
but I've never actually seen that play.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a movie.
Yeah, several different versions. Dustin Hoffman. That was an interesting version, but yes,
That was.
that's true.
So would you consider acting a hobby of yours, or do you have other hobbies?
Actually, it is. Now that I'm retired, I spend a lot of time in community theater.
And that's your favorite hobby then? That's what you do most of the time?
Yeah, I'd say so. I devote a lot of time to the community theater.
Nice.
Not always actually acting. A lot of it has to do with any aspect of trying to promote it, or I use my computer skills to help them out. I can produce flyers and things of that sort. I actually help with the website for our community theater too.
Whoa, where'd that dog come from?
Oh.
Do you like dogs?
Sure. I've always liked dogs. Big dog person. I have 3 dogs myself.
So now where do you currently live then?
I live in this area here now. I've been on the East Coast. For many years I worked with IBM. So they relocated me to Yorktown Heights up in Westchester County. So I've been in the tri-state area, as you call it, here on the East Coast. New Jersey, New York, Westchester, Long Island, or as you people say, Long Island.
Do you have people notice that your dialect is different from the rest of us in New York? Do the people ever say anything
actually,
to you?
I thought I modified it somewhat, but no, I still get comments on certain words. I know, for instance, what's a good one that comes up a lot? Coffee. If I drink a cup of coffee, they always ask me about that.
Yeah, because we say coffee here on Long Island.
And the funny thing about it is a lot of my friends, when I go back to Eden Prairie or I'm in Minnesota, they ask me about the East Coast, and everything to them they think of has to do with the accent of Brooklyn or the Bronx, and they use those kind of accents. Yeah. Not too well, but they use them to ask me if I talk like that, or even to say, do you know anybody who talks like that for real? You know?
And so they all must think that, because as in movies, that's how most people portray themselves that are from New York.
Well, it was interesting. The culture shock that I felt, I think, was in the professional career which I had with IBM, I found that people might have had more of a slightly more neutral way of speaking in a lot of cases, but I played on a softball team in New York, up in Westchester County, and it was in Portchester, and most of the guys were born and bred in that area. They either came from the Bronx and moved up to Yonkers or somewhere around in that area. And boy, when I was with those 15 or so guys on the team, and they'd be talking and even hanging out after the game, and I'd hear all these accents flying around from the New York area, and it was quite interesting.
Do you think you picked up on there?
Sometimes I think when I go back to Minnesota, they tell me that some of the words that I say sound more like an East Coast person.
Well, that's great, and I really thank you for letting me interview you.
Oh, sure.
We can